All right. What is up? I am John Marks. He is Black Gritty from blackgritty.com. And this is Philly Baseball Talk on 97.5 The Fanatics YouTube channel. Maybe you're seeing this on Twitter. We think it's going out live on Twitter. If it is, please watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Twitter. You can watch us on Twitter, but we're going to be doing this on a regular basis during the Philly season. Philly Baseball Talk. I am John Marks. I will have a cast of characters with me, including Black Gritty, including Maniac Malloy from Bet Parks, including Ray Dunn, I believe. We're gonna bring a lot of people in because we're gonna be doing multiple shows a week, talking about the games, talking about the nonsense. Black Gritty, hello. Good morning.
Hello. Johnny Marks, I'm here. I'm ready. I don't know if you heard of this. I got a job with the Phillies. Let the cat out of the bag. I am going to be the new supplement advisor. These are vitamins you can take. These are, like some beetroot, that's legal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you need some fiber. Some ashwagandha, magnesium. These are all things on the approved list that I will be helping the Phillies with this season going forward. I mean, I got all the legit supplements. You hear that? Those are legit supplements. I hear somebody got to help the Phillies, Johnny Marks. And I have a new job and role with the Philadelphia Phillies moving forward this season. I'm going to make sure everybody stays in line, Johnny Marks.
Did you get them on the gray market or at CVS?
Look, you're asking too many questions, brother. You know what I mean? You're asking too many questions. I mean, we got a lot of children on the Phillies team. That's why they're all chewables. That's why I got all the gummies. You know what I mean? I got to make sure that they're taking the right stuff.
This is official, so I might need PEDs, man. This is floating around on my channel. You know what I mean?
Hey, look. I'm trying to find something to get that Johnny Marks hair growing. You know what I mean? One of these is going to work.
Yeah. Let me see your hair. Nah, probably not. I don't know if I can help you. Not. But Brandon Dutz, who's our producer, and you'll see him pop in from time to time as it gets going. We actually have somebody working backstage producing the show, Black Gritty. So this is like official. We're going to talk Phillies baseball. We think, Dutz, did we confirm that it's on, is it on Twitter?
It is, because OG Wade popped in. I left a comment already calling us two punks in a blanket. So you know what I mean? I know OG Wade's watching on Twitter, so we're live on Twitter. I know it's official now.
All right. There he is, OG Wade. What's up, OG Wade? OG Wade used to call me on the phone, but would never call me on the air. Listen, but he called me on the phone complaining about Spike and wanting to sue Spike and all this other stuff. And I'm like, Herb, these guys want to call me on the phone, not on the air. It's like, okay, well, then I'm good. You can call me off the air if you call me on the air. But OG Wade, what's up, dude? How are you? All right, so you mentioned, I guess we'll get the Rojas thing out right away. I was getting my finger wagged at because, all right, so this guy, this Latin stat baseball guy was the one that reported it. And he clearly wasn't some loser out there that was just making stuff up. But still, it's not Passan or it's not Rosenthal. It's not like he's not a guy that typically breaks news. But still, like a lot of times when the Latino guys get suspensions, you're getting it from some random reporter that you never heard of until that. So I did what I thought, which was like, hey, this isn't substantiated, but it's interesting. And, this guy sure seems real. And then when the Phillies didn't deny it, or Rojas didn't deny it, and he left the World Baseball Classic, people were still like, okay, you don't know, that's not confirmed. I'm like, okay, but I'm saying it's not confirmed. So it's now confirmed by Jeff Passan. He's going to miss 80 games. I don't know if it matters. He might not even have made the team, but
it matters to him.
I mean, listen, I will never criticize these guys because you're talking about a potential 10, 20, $30 million contract. This dude comes out and he kills it. And it's like, wow, he's really good. And you can make your whole life with that. So I'm not saying I would do it. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but you can't get caught. And that's bad, man. It's bad. So now you have a couple of Phillies between Alvarado, Kepler. What would he have been like if he wasn't on steroids or whatever he's on? And now Rojas. So, yep, the PED team, Black Gritty.
Like I said, I'm going to do my best to try and reel these guys back in and take care of business out here because you said it can change your life, but now look at how it's changed your life.
Changed his life, yeah.
I mean, at some point, if you're not like a home run hitting guy, like what is it supposed to help you do? You're already quick. You're already fast. I don't know if you got to get a new trainer. I don't know if you got to eat right, live your life right. But I mean, if Alvarado would have just, and again, I'm a fat person. I know it sounds crazy coming from me, but if Alvarado would have just maybe lost some weight, got in the gym, got a trainer, and got somebody to feed him the right food, maybe he didn't have to take super bean coffee. You know what I mean? Like you could have, your body frame could have changed. It might have helped you pitch better, but instead you took a quick shortcut. To me, it's not worth it because unless you're in that era where everybody's doing it and everybody's getting away with it, you know they're cracking down on this kind of stuff. And it's just 80 games. And now and again, like you said, he might not even made the team. Now, who's going to take a chance on you? Who's looking to help you? Who's looking to be a part of what you've got going on? It's bad because I like Rojas. I mean, I'm part of Rojas boys. We ride for Rojas. I mean, rooting for the underdog. And now you just took yourself out of play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. Bad look. Profar from the Braves gets his second positive test that was announced today. They're appealing it. So
he's out for the year, right?
He's out for an entire season. Yep. Yeah, the second offense. You get popped once. It's like, all right, you thought you could get away with it. Like, it's not like Profar. He's gotten contracts. We obviously, when people used to say to me about the steroid era, it's like, oh, well, you still need to hit the baseball. Yeah, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to hit the ball and hit it hard with bat speed. And the one thing that this, because at the time, it's like, okay, these guys are home run hitters. That's why they took steroids. You didn't realize how many pitchers were taking it too for recovery. So they could pitch that fifth day. They're not sore. They're out there. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm never going to be surprised when guys get caught for it. I'm surprised when they actually fess up and say, yeah, I took something and I got caught. Normally it's, they went to GNC. They didn't know what they were taking. Their cousin gave them something. They didn't know what they were taking. But it's unfortunate for Rojas because like you said, I'm a Rojas fan. I was rooting for him. But.
And here's a question because you're old. Baseball has always been 162 games, right? For like a long time, correct?
Yeah, I think it might have been 154 before 162. But yeah, it's never been 100 and they bumped it up.
So I just look back at sometimes I go back. My cousin's like a stat nerd, and sometimes I look through the almanac in the book and I just look at how many games guys used to pitch, and I think to myself, what happened that men are breaking down in an age where we've got all this technology and all this science and all this health and trainers and everything like that? These dudes were rolling out of bed with a pack of cigarettes and a fifth of Jack, pitching every third day, 9 innings. Like I really wonder what happened with as far as pitching is concerned, that just changed where guys are just Tommy John. Is it the travel ball, the AAU? Like, is it the when your kids, you're just wearing these kids out? I wonder what it is that like has guys breaking down so much more now than back in the day when they, like I said, they're rolling out of bed pitching every other day.
Steve Carlton, I could pull it up right now. He did 350 innings some seasons. Right. And that's why when he was in his late 30s, he started to be done, like real done, because he was done. You know what it is? You know why you're seeing all this now? You had said at AAU, there's a kid he's in Jersey or maybe he's in Pennsylvania. He's throwing 100 miles an hour and he's 16. If you think about it, what do pitchers throw these days? Everything's hard. It's a cutter. It's a slider. There's obviously like Sanchez has a great changeup, but everything's predicated on movement and velocity. And the ligaments can't handle that. But like Denny McClain, he had a torn rotator cuff and he was pitching through it, just getting cortisone shots all over the place. He won 30 games. He's going to be the last pitcher to win 30 games in a season. He wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour. It's the art of pitching. It's a lot. The game's a lot different, but these kids are going to be now they're being trained for velocity. So they go to these academies when they're young, and it's all about, okay, you're going to work out like this. You're going to do this. Here's the video. Here's that. And they're throwing 100 miles an hour, and they're getting drafted, and they're making a lot of money. So it's probably not going to change there, Black Hoodie.
Yeah, that is what the chat said. Chat's like, oh, they're throwing harder in recent years. Maximum effort for pitchers. I get it, but I mean, like, man, they just the breakdown is crazy. So, but you're right. It is what it is, and that's the game we play. And you want to have guys live longer, not live longer. Pitch longer. I don't need them pitching into their 40s and stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like, can I get this maximum effort earlier on and just get the new people piped in? Finally got to see Painter over the weekend, and we're going to talk about that. I don't know what direction you want to go in or what we're talking about.
So that was actually the first Phillies subject that we were going to get into, because that's the big story of the Phillies right now. They're at the World Baseball Classic. We'll give you an update on what happened earlier today. But Andrew Painter comes out. And listen, I'm not going to poo-poo it, because if he came out in 2 innings and sucked, we'd be making a big deal about it. I'm not going crazy because he did well for 2 innings in his first start. But it's a great thing that he came out and he looked good. The velocity was there. The command was there. He wasn't wild. And last year when he was in AAA, Andrew Painter, he had a 5.4 ERA, and that's because he just didn't have command. And he was walking a lot of guys, which he didn't do earlier in his career before the Tommy John. And it's not unusual for that to happen coming off the surgery. So you hope he's a little bit better with that stuff this year. But my uncle actually, he gave me some info. Uncle Jamie gave me some info. And he said that they changed the arm angle. We're getting nerded here. But he changed the arm angle so he's not throwing the ball the same way. He has a little bit less of an overhead, I guess, arm angle, because the thought is he wants more contact to induce ground balls. Because when you're throwing close to 100 miles an hour, what do you want to do? You're going to strike guys out. You have 100 miles an hour, you have a mean curveball or whatever. And I guess he wasn't striking guys out last year. So they tinkered with it a little bit. So I think you're going to see a different pitcher this year than maybe they thought they were getting. But nevertheless, he was throwing 98 in his first start. So it's not like he's got weak velocity. But I got the pom-poms up, Black Gritty. I like the first start.
So I will say this. He was throwing against the B team of the Yankees, and he pitched very well for 2 innings. That they always said they were going to pull the plug regardless. But when I saw the juxtapose between Alvarado and him, my confidence level rose. And that second inning that Alvarado was pitching, they interviewed Painter, and I'm a huge, you know me, I'm not the nerd of nerds, but I look into a guy's eyes and I believe in what I look at when I see it. Watch him in that interview, watch him on the mound, his command, his control, his poise, the way he answered questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, since 19, that's why you were 19 and already in this position, because the kind of man you are, the way you express yourself, the way you control yourself. And yes, it's preseason, it's Clearwater, it's silence. And it's my favorite part when you see a young guy play in that situation for the first time. There's a lot of pressure, even though you're not in the big leagues yet. Literally, you can hear a pin drop in that. Painter, Andrew, it's like your mom sitting right in the corner of your ear yelling at you, because you can hear everything anybody's saying around you. And you went out there and did your job. Good for him. That was, again, I'm not blown away, but I am impressed, and I do like the way that he carries himself. So, he's going to get rocked a couple times when he comes up here, but I feel like he'll be able to have the composure to bring himself back. And that's what you want to see in a young kid. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it.
I think it's like, because a lot of times we talk about all right, well, if he gets a 4, like I've been saying, a 4 ERA is good for me for the season. 4 ERA, it's a long season, but that means he finishes the season. And a 4 ERA is not all that bad. Trust me. I would sign up for a 4 ERA with Aaron Nola right now. But here's the other thing I want, Black Gritty, is he may have a 4 ERA, but now we're in the playoffs and other teams are looking at him being like, damn, we don't want to face Andrew Painter in a series. And the Phillies say, you know what? We're giving him a start over Nola. And he goes out there because he's electric. He could be a wild card that we're not talking about. If he makes it through the regular season and we're feeling great about him by the end of the season, that's all that I ask for. He's making a start every 5th day. And I agree with you with what you said. A lot of times guys, their body might be ready to be in the majors at an early age, but there's a lot that comes with that. And you have to be able to handle yourself as a professional. And I remember what I was like when I was 19. I was a knucklehead. I'm still a knucklehead, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this kid's wise, man. He was groomed to be in this spot, and I'm excited. I'm excited for his next start. I can't wait to see what he looks like next time out. So that's a great thing.
Yeah. Getting through the whole season is my goal right now. With all the injuries, with all the little setbacks and tweaks, get him through a full season, get it under his belt. And man, if he's getting a start over Nola by the end of the season, then we're going to be cooking with Crisco going forward. Yeah, not that Nola's everybody's favorite right now in general. But.
Yeah, but you know what? If Nola can get all right, I'll even go here. If every start Nola gives you 6 innings, some starts he gives 3 runs, some starts he gives 5 runs, some starts he gets 4 runs. I'm not even the ERA is not good. I'd be surprised if the ERA was good this year. He's going to give up runs, but he can't only go 3 or 4 innings. That's the whole reason you justified the contract. So many times I heard, oh, yeah, give him the ball every 5th day. Yeah, I get it. And the durability is also what be costing him right now. He's throwing a lot of innings on those arms, man. We were talking about Steve Carlton and stuff. None of the guys do that. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler threw as many innings as anybody over the course of 3 or 4 seasons. And like it looked like last year caught up with Nola. So I just need innings out of him, man. I can't have, all right, it's 8-3 and it's the 4th inning. Here's Nola again.
I will, I like to troll people and call people stupid all the time. I will say that I am an idiot sandwich because I thought that Nola staying here was a good thing. I didn't think it was a great thing. I didn't think he deserved as much money as he got, but I was like, man, he should just be here. And I didn't want him to go to the Braves. Like that was my whole thing. And now hindsight is 2020 again. It's not my money. I didn't have any effect on it, but I'd rather him be here than there. And now I'm like, man, I wish y'all would outbid us. Like,
yeah,
he is an inning eater, but has he hit the wall? We're gonna find out this year, obviously. But man, there's many more years behind that contract of if he doesn't go back to being the average Nola. Like, just give me average Nola and I'm okay.
Me too.
Freaks out. He gave up a home run. I'm like, yeah. How many times has he given up a home run and then shut it down right after that? Like, he does that a lot. He gets rocked for an inning and then he can reel himself back in. It's baseball. It's a long season, like we always say, for the first 74, 98 games. And you need a guy like Nola. But last year, and again, we don't know how much of it was injury because they started being like the Sixers. He hurt his foot, then his rib, then his arm from throwing off the wrong foot, then his back. Like, I don't know what was going on with him, but I know he was getting rocked more than I'm used to him getting rocked. So hopefully with offseason and health, he gets back to being just be average, just be consistent, and I'll be happy seeing him go out and take the mound.
Yeah, remember he had the ankle injury and he was out for a while too, Nolan.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like they were doing him a favor, like, all right, yeah, your ankle, because he was trying to pitch through it. They're like, nah, you're good. It was the perfect time to take a little bit of break because he was getting close to being taken out of the rotation.
Yeah, and then they were saying it was his ribs or his back, and it was like,
yeah,
because of the foot, the planning. And I'm like, well, which one is it? What is going on? So
that sounds like a Sixers.
Yeah, it was
quandary.
Really bad.
All right, so people that don't know, Black Gritty last year was Phillies were winning the World Series. I swear it. Stop telling me otherwise. Phillies are winning the World Series. Phillies aren't winning the World Series. And you lasted as long as anybody out there. Phillies are winning the World Series. So I got to ask you right now, Black Gritty, as we enter kind of the middle of spring training, how do you feel with the Phillies?
I don't feel good about the Phillies at all this year. I just had my hope with Painter, but there's been so much smoke and mirrors to start the season. I don't like the vibes, Johnny Marks. I don't like the vibes. And, maybe the baseball classic will change and I'll put on my flag and my emotions will get swept up and I'll see Bryce start hitting nuclear bombs. But right now, Bryce himself is not helping the vibes of my team. Dombrowski is not helping the vibes of my team. I don't feel good. And hopefully by opening day, that changes for me. But right now, it has been a murky beginning to the offseason, and I don't like it. I don't like the way the season ended last year. I feel like we're in Sixers territory of, nobody cares about the regular season, this long regular season. It's all get me to the postseason. And at this point, I don't even want to win a division. Take me back to the old school where, I get in and I'm the last seed and we got to fight and be scrappy and get hot late to get in there and do I feel like that's the trajectory that will get this team back to where they want to be, because right now winning and being first or second isn't changed anything. So right now, Danny Marks, I am not excited about possibly winning the World Series. I can't believe it. We also have the Death Star that is the Dodgers out there, and they just don't stop. I don't know if anybody can stop them.
Yeah, you almost have to just hope that you get lucky. Listen, Dave Dombrowski feels like they beat the Dodgers, and it was a close series, but the reality is that the Phillies won one playoff game, and a good team beats the Dodgers if they give them an opportunity. You look at that series against the Blue Jays, man. I mean, you talk about that. Like, you got to be a good team to be able to beat that one. The Blue Jays wanted that really bad.
Yeah.
So you might get your wish as far as less wins and not winning the division, because at least the betting trends are showing this. BetMGM. So I guess this is from, I didn't see the criteria of it, but they sent out something that said notable win total decreases from the open. So the opening number over under wins for a season to the current number. The Phillies opened up at 92.5 wins. They're down to 89.5 wins.
Ooh.
Kyle Schwarber's over-under for home runs is 41.5. He had 56 last year. How many suckers are going to take like me, are going to take the over on that, right? Like 89 wins, it's still a good team that gets you in the playoffs. like you're saying, here's the bottom line. The team has the rotation if Zach Wheeler comes back to beat anybody. And it doesn't like home field. This isn't the NFC Championship game at the Link, right? It'd be nice to have home field, but the Phillies have sucked at home the last couple of years. So what does it really matter? The team is built with their bullpen and their starting rotation. If the lineup can get hot, they can beat anybody in baseball. So I agree with you. You know what? Early in the season, if they're kind of crappy and they're around 500 until after the trade deadline and they get hot, that's how they could win it. So it's a long season. We got to try to enjoy the season. I don't know how it's going to go, but I think, I'm looking at them as a playoff team, and then we'll see.
And at the trade deadline, I don't know how you feel about Dombrowski, but like, do whatever it takes if the team has an actual need and make a move. I know we've brought up a lot of the young guys, so a lot of that trade, the prospects that we can't trade at, we're actually bringing them up. Painter's up, Crawford, like we're actually getting guys in the rotation and on the field. So we're going to see how they actually look and how they play. But man, when there's a need, like I want him to go all in one time. And it might be on this way out. He might not be here after next season, but right. I would like to have the guns drawn at the trade deadline if it looks like there's a move to be made and there's a strike to be had, because it's just, man, we're losing this window. You know what I mean? Bryce isn't going to be Bryce forever. I feel like he's going to be going nuclear this year. I feel like he's got a lot on his plate and he reacts a certain way.
Yeah, I agree.
Criticism and pressure. All the stuff from talking about the locker room with Casty, the way people feel about Topper and the things that have been said about Topper. I feel like this is the year that like you can catch them on a let me show you what I got kind of season. So that's it. I is obviously getting Wheeler back and having Wheeler be healthy is going to mean so much to this team. We're going to be starting first half of the season without him, most likely.
Yeah. Nah.
I don't know.
They're talking about like beginning of May.
Yeah. I like pushing stuff back as far as injury concerned, because if he comes back early, I'll be happy. If not, it's okay, because I wasn't expecting it. But like I said, last year they kept telling us when guys were coming back and it kept getting pushed back and back and back. And Bryce busted his butt to get back early.
Right.
But how many more years is Wheeler's talking about? Wheeler's says
two
retiring.
More. I think 2 more.
Yeah. So.
Or maybe 1 more after this. And he means it too. He's like, nope, this is what I'm doing, and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, he doesn't play around. I believe everything Wheeler says is to be true. So
yeah. But like I'm definitely much more eager for that. I'm excited for the Philly season. I'm excited. Like, I saw Chris Sanchez made Vladimir Guerrero laugh because he made him look so silly with a changeup in a game before he left for the World Baseball Classic. Chris Sanchez might be the second best pitcher in baseball, or the third best pitcher in baseball this year. Last year, he was the unanimous, because Paul Skeens had a season where it's like, all right, it's going to be tough to beat Skeens. It's going to be tough to beat Skubal. But, Sanchez got all second place votes. He was unanimous second place in the Cy Young. He had that kind of season. So with Wheeler being out, at least you have Sanchez. Luzardo's good. Taijuan Walker will serve a purpose when they need him to start. And Aaron Nole's going to be, let's see what we get with him, and Painter's going to be exciting to watch. So, but ultimately I'm with you. It feels like they ran it back, and like, we know what Bohm's going to give you, and Aiden Miller's already hurt. He has a back problem, so he's probably not going to play at all in spring training. So it's just, they just can't start. If they start slow, the town's going to be really negative on the team. Really negative.
And that part I'm not that worried about, because realistically there are injuries, there are things that are set back, and I could take a couple of losses if I see a couple of good things. If Andrew's coming out and he's pitching well, if Nola's being somewhat consistent, and if Bryce is Brycing, I'll feel really good about it, even though I don't need him to be nuclear early, but I need him to be, I need to see the whole elite versus not elite thing in him, because I feel like, again, that's going to propel him throughout the whole season. Schwarber's going to be Schwarber. He'll be hot and cold. And, as far as the defense is concerned, Bohm is Bohm doesn't want to be here. We don't really want Bohm, but Bohm's still here. So that is what that is.
Bohm, 270, 16 home runs, 76 RBIs, right? Something like that. Hey, It's a shame because if he was your 6th hole hitter, you'd be fine with that kind of production. They just don't have a cleanup hitter. I know a lot of people are going to say Garcia, which is fine, and he may be at some points because Topper actually does a good job of moving guys, kind of maneuvering the lineup a little bit further down in the order or that cleanup spot. He had Castellanos do it last year. I mean, if Castellanos and Real Muto or Bohm are your cleanup hitters, that's a problem. I think the difference this year is Schwarber's going to bat behind Harper as a form of protection right there. And that's going to change the way that Bohm's also pitched to as well. So let's hope.
So you think Bryce is finally going to hit 2?
I do. It makes too much sense. You got to change. Like you were talking about, like the lineup just feels like, it's the same lineup, even with Garcia. And Bryce hitting second changes everything. He's going to see if he's hitting in front of Schwarber, if Trey Turner gets on base and he's hitting in front of Schwarber, he's going to see more fastballs. He swung at more balls out of the zone last year than he ever has by far. His chase rate was high. So a lot of that's on him. He's got to, Schwarber isn't a chaser. He strikes out a lot. He's not a chaser because he knows what's coming from the pitcher. He's thinking it through. Bryce is swinging out of his cleats a lot of times because he's trying to do too much. I think being in that spot gets him better pitches to hit that he's not going to chase.
Then why hasn't he done it before? That's the thing that bothered me. World Classic. It is World Classic. You've got the all-stars of all-stars, so you just do what you're told. Yes, sir. But, now all of a sudden your second hole is fine for you. Like, you should have done that for us last year. You should have been in the second hole because you're always crying about not having protection, and Schwarber could have been your protection. So going forward, yeah, you're batting second because we don't really have anybody else to protect you, bro. But Schwarber can protect you. So that's the way it has to be. I don't believe it until I see it for our team. For Team USA, I fully understand. Like, there are too many juggernauts on this team for Bryce to be like, I'm not doing that. And to be fair, everybody hitting behind you is a Titan.
Is a monster, yeah.
No matter where you are. So I'll bat second. But for the Phillies, he needs to be second all year long as Schwarber is healthy. And I feel, again, that it's going to change the dynamics of the team. I just haven't seen him bend the knee to it. He says the right things all the time. He's always wearing a fanatic cleats. Now I need to see you do the right thing. Bryce is on thin ice. And thank you for choosing me, Bryce. Thank you for choosing me. I love Bryce Harper. Thank you for choosing me. But this offseason, and Bryce has got me like, what are we doing?
You soured on him. I can't believe what you're saying about Bryce.
I'm so upset. It upsets me to speak about Bryce Harper in any kind of ill will. You know this. Thank you, Bryce, for choosing me. It's something I say every time I utter that man's name because he came here to Philadelphia when he had a choice. Now, of course, the money had something to do with it, but everybody was offering him that money. He came here. Thank you, Bryce, for choosing me. But this offseason, again, I don't even like Dombrowski, and I don't like the way he talked about you. But then you start talking about the Dodgers the way you're talking about the Dodgers. I'm hearing stuff about the clubhouse. People can't be playing no music. They on the phone, and you mad they on the phone. Then I got Castellanos talking about Bryce. You know what I mean? Like, reel it back in. Reel it back in, Bryce. Get me back on board fully is what I'm saying, Johnny Marks.
The best part of the Segura story was that he had a portable speaker that he was doing FaceTime with. It wasn't even just his phone. Like, one thing, if he has headphones, you would think you do headphones, but he actually had a portable speaker that he was blaring it. I just I don't know. I'm not doubting it at all, but I know Bryce to be, he's kind of a quiet guy. He's not coming in every like. Are
you sure he cussed out the commissioner of baseball in the same clubhouse?
Well, I think he's got a short fuse, and when he wants to say something, he's going to say it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he did. And by the way, we don't know. Hey, was everybody else in? Because let's face it, not a lot of color not a lot of spice in the Phillies clubhouse. So if you have a bunch of white guys and then you have Gene Segura speaking in Spanish and yelling and screaming with Carlos Santana or whatever, if those guys were annoyed at Segura, who, by the way, at the time, if you remember, when the whole Andrew McCutchen thing went down, he admitted afterwards he had a drinking problem. And after that, he was drinking like bottles of booze because he felt so bad, and he's gotten clean. I like Gene Segura. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what the dynamic was in there to where Bryce is going to go over and tell him to get the F out.
So we're also not very fluent in Spanish, and what I've been told by someone who also did a translation of that there was a very good tongue-in-cheek relationship in the clubhouse too. So it wasn't as aggressive as the first report made it out to be about Bryce. Bryce is basically, like you said, short fuse, hot and cold. And if you catch him on the wrong day or something's going on, and I get that too, you know what I mean? Like, you see me on the internet, some days I got time today, and I just start going crazy on people on the internet when Other times I don't, I let stuff slide. So I do get it, Bryce. But again, you're wearing elite t-shirts and then saying, I don't know nothing about that. Like, stand on the business that you did. Don't backtrack it now, and don't be on with Busting in the Boys and talking about these Dodgers and stuff like that and tell me what the Dodgers do. We all know they're cheating. You know what I mean? And my owner did say he was going to spend stupid money. That's the worst thing he could have ever said. But I mean,
yeah, because stupid money is what the Dodgers are spending. John Middleton's spending a lot of money. You're never going to hear me complain about the money he spends. He outspends almost everybody. He's up there with the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
They spend more than the Yankees, but
and I don't want to cap on baseball. I just don't like the deferred money because that seems like a scam to me. You know what I mean? I don't need every guy getting a Bobby Bonilla day, where the money's just shifted. Like, if you want to pay the best player in baseball and probably the history of the sport, Shohei Ohtani, which I would have never said that until last season. I think he came up really small in the postseason, but then when you look at it totality, when he was pitching and just he was striking out a lot, but when he started hitting and he's pitching, I'm like, what can I say? The man is worth the money, but pay him his money every year like everybody else does, and be constrained so you can't put 9 other all-stars up with the guy too.
It's actually a great point, because then they'd have to spend $1 billion if they weren't deferring this money. I don't think they'd be willing to do that, but it definitely hurts the team that they can build. It just does. So yeah, the deferrals. I mean, like Max Scherzer, when he went to the Nationals, might have been the best contract ever signed in baseball. He deferred a ton of that money, and Max Scherzer was nails in Washington. He's still pitching like a maniac. So yeah, the deferrals. Boris sometimes will do the deferrals because it still makes him look good. It's like, oh, it's a $500 million contract. Yeah, $300 million of it comes in 20 years from now. Right? He doesn't care. He's like, oh, I got a $500 million contract. So, those shysters.
So Johnny Marks, real quick. As a person who owns his own business, who pays very little in taxes, and I take advantage of all that America has to offer on that subject, why are they allowed to go and put all this money into escrow, earn 9 to 12% interest off of the money, wait 10 years to pay him, where they've made money off of his money sitting in the bank that they're using to pay current players? That's where it becomes criminal and illegal. People don't think, like, just take $100 million. Every year they're making $90,000, and it's accruing and racking and racking and racking. So by the time they end up actually paying Shohei Ohtani, they've saved or paid
themselves. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. They paid themselves $5 to $10 million just by him waiting that they're using on current players. That's the problem. There's so many intricate things to it where people just say, oh, you can't defer. It's just like your insurance company. They're taking your money. They're making money off you. Whether you get in an accident or not, that money's sitting in a bank somewhere. That's why rebates work. How could you get a rebate? Because they tell you to wait 90 days. They take your rebate, 30,000 other people's rebates, put it in the bank, gain 9%, and only 10 of you guys want the rebate back. And they're like, here's your money back off the free money I made off the interest in the bank. Or if you'd have just put your money in the bank, you'd have made your own rebate money. But again, that's getting in the weeds. It's criminal. Again, as an American citizen who has their own business, I fully understand. But I don't like it, Johnny Marks.
I wish I could do that. Next life, Black Gritty. All right, so check it out. This is Philly Baseball Talk. I am John Marks. He is Black Gritty. We're live on YouTube, or maybe you're watching on YouTube. So we're going to do some live, some will be, I guess, recorded, but we'll be doing some live. We'll be doing some post games. It just depends on what the schedule is for the week. So look for us. Make sure you're subscribed. So if you're watching on Twitter right now, make sure you subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube, and then you get the notification when we're going to be doing shows, and then you can watch right on YouTube. You can get involved in the chat, all that jazz. So this is the first one that I think we're doing under the umbrella of Philly Baseball Talk. Brandon Dutz is going to be the primary producer. We'll have some of the other guys that produce it backstage, and we'll have some graphics and things like that so he can produce as the show goes along. Comments are always welcome. Make sure you like the episode. And if you don't get to catch us live, Black Gritty, we will be available just like everything else on YouTube. So just check after Phillies games and things like that. I'll be tweeting out when we're doing this as well. So, and if you want to follow Black Gritty and everything he does, where do you go, Black Gritty?
BlackGritty.com. I will not be selling these supplements. These are only for the Phillies that I have acquired all of these supplements for the Philadelphia Phillies. Try and get this team on the right track for the season ahead, Johnny Marks.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody listening. Brandon Dutz produced, And Black Gritty, we'll talk again soon. Go Phils.
Go Phils.
Is USA winning? Team USA winning the World Baseball Classic?
Oh, yeah. They're saying all the right stuff today. They got me all jazzed up, red, white, and blue. We're going to go get it.
All right. Philly baseball talk. Talk to you next time.